Admiral Rayna Blackwood stood motionless before the massive observation window of Lunar Base Alpha, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she watched Earth rotate slowly in the void. After 30 years in the United Earth Defense Force, she thought she'd seen everything. She was wrong. The message had arrived exactly 6 hours ago. Not through conventional channels, not through any of humanity's advanced communication arrays, but directly into the minds of every single person on Earth and its colonies. The Harbinger had arrived. Admiral, Captain James Curry's voice broke through her contemplation. The anomaly has cleared Jupiter's orbit. Estimated arrival at Earth in 20 minutes. Blackwood turned to face the command center, where dozens of the Earth's finest officers monitored their stations with barely concealed tension. The holographic display at the center of the room showed the approaching vessel, if it could even be called that. The object defied conventional physics, its form constantly shifting between geometric patterns that hurt the eyes to look at directly. "Status of the Aegis Protocol," she asked, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "All planetary shield generators are at full capacity," Lieutenant Zara Rahman reported from her station. "The quantum consciousness network is stable, and all 37 million connected citizens are maintaining the field. Humanity's greatest achievement, and best-kept secret, wasn't their mastery of faster-than-light travel or their colonization of Mars. It was the discovery that human consciousness, when properly networked and amplified, could alter the very fabric of reality." The massive vessel suddenly appeared in Earth's orbit, bypassing all known laws of physics. Its size blocked out entire star fields, its surface rippling like liquid metal in impossible patterns. Every screen in the command center flickered to life simultaneously, displaying an entity that seemed to be composed of pure light and geometric patterns. "Children of Earth," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "I am Nexus Prime, Harbinger of the Cosmic Guard. Your species has attracted our attention." Blackwood stepped forward. This was the moment she had trained for. "Harbinger, I am Admiral Rayna Blackwood of the United Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact." The being's form shifted, its patterns becoming more angular, almost aggressive. "Peace is not the question, Admiral. Your species has achieved quantum consciousness integration in mere centuries, a feat that took other races millennia. This accelerated evolution cannot be permitted to continue unchecked." With respect, Blackwood replied, choosing her words carefully, "Humanity's advancement is our natural progression. We've broken no universal laws." "Laws?" The Harbinger's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. "The laws of physics themselves bend to your collective will. Your species has stumbled upon powers that could unravel the very fabric of reality. The Cosmic Guard has maintained universal stability for billions of years. We will not allow a juvenile race to threaten that stability." As if to emphasize the point, smaller vessels began emerging from the massive ship, each one larger than Earth's largest battlecruiser. They took up position around the planet, their presence sending ripples through the quantum consciousness network. "You have 2 of your solar cycles to demonstrate why humanity should be allowed to continue on its current path," Nexus Prime declared. "Prove your species can wield these powers responsibly, or we will be forced to implement consciousness suppression protocols across your entire species." The implications hit Blackwood like a physical blow. Consciousness suppression would effectively lobotomize humanity's potential, reducing them to a primitive state. Everything they had built, everything they had become, would be lost. "And if we refuse?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. The Harbinger's form expanded, filling every screen. "Refusal is not an option, Admiral. The test begins now. May your species prove wiser than the many we have been forced to correct over the eons." As the transmission ended, Blackwood turned to her crew. "Send word to all quantum consciousness hubs. Begin Protocol Prometheus immediately." "Admiral," Captain Curry stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Are you sure? Once we start, there's no going back." Blackwood's eyes hardened as she watched the alien vessels taking up position around her homeworld. They expect us to prove we can use our power responsibly. Instead, we're going to prove that humanity has grown beyond the need for their approval. She turned to address the entire command center. The Cosmic Guard thinks they're here to test us. They don't realize that we've been preparing for this moment since we first touched the quantum consciousness. Humanity faces its greatest challenge, but remember this, we didn't get to where we are by backing down from challenges. As alarms began to sound throughout the lunar base, Blackwood felt the quantum consciousness network humming with increased activity. Across Earth and its colonies, 37 million minds began working in perfect harmony, preparing for what was to come. The Harbinger had arrived to test humanity's worth. They would soon learn that humanity had long since moved beyond the need for anyone's approval but their own. The quantum storms began 3 days after the Harbinger's arrival. Brilliant auroras of impossible colors painted Earth's skies as humanity's collective consciousness pushed against the very fabric of reality. In orbit, the Cosmic Guard's vessels shifted uneasily, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the ethereal light show below. Captain Lyra Winters stood in the quantum synchronization chamber aboard the UES Defiant, her consciousness merged with the ship's systems through technology that would have been impossible just months ago. Through the quantum network, she could feel the presence of thousands of other pilots, each connected to their own vessels, waiting. Quantum fluctuations detected in the Guard's fleet, Lieutenant Marcus Joshi reported, his voice seeming to come from both the bridge and directly through the quantum link. They're realizing something's wrong. The Harbinger's massive vessel suddenly flared with energy, its geometric patterns becoming more aggressive. The transmission that followed resonated through both conventional channels and the quantum network. "This is your final warning," Nexus Prime's voice boomed. "Your species attempts to mask its activities through quantum interference. This only proves your immaturity. Submit to consciousness suppression immediately, or face extinction." Through the quantum network, Lyra felt Admiral Blackwood's response from Lunar Command. "Harbinger, you came to test us, to judge our worthiness. But you failed to understand something fundamental about humanity, we've long since outgrown the need for your approval." The command came through the quantum network like a thunderbolt, "Execute Protocol Prometheus." Across Earth orbit, hundreds of ships that had been hidden behind quantum veils suddenly materialized. Each vessel was piloted by a human consciousness fully merged with quantum systems, operating on principles that the Cosmic Guard had never encountered. "Impossible," Nexus Prime's voice carried genuine shock. "Your technological level cannot support dash." The rest was lost as humanity's fleet engaged. The Defiant surged forward under Lyra's guidance, its quantum-enhanced systems allowing it to move in ways that defied conventional physics. Through her connection with the ship, Lyra could feel the confusion of the Guard's vessels as they encountered an enemy that fought unlike anything they'd seen before. "They still don't understand," Marcus observed, watching as the Guard's energy weapons passed harmlessly through quantum-shifted hulls. "They're fighting with technology. We're fighting with evolved consciousness." The battle unfolded across multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. The Guard's ships, for all their advanced technology, were bound by their creator's understanding of physics. Humanity's vessels, guided by quantum-merged consciousness, simply rewrote those rules as they fought. But the Cosmic Guard hadn't maintained order in the galaxy for billions of years by being easily defeated. Their ships began adapting, their crystalline architecture reconfiguring to match the quantum patterns they encountered. The space around Earth became a chaos of shifting realities as two fundamentally different approaches to consciousness technology clashed. Through the quantum network, Lyra felt the moment everything changed. The hidden protocol, running in secret beneath Earth's surface, had reached its final stage. The collective consciousness of humanity wasn't just connected anymore, it was transforming into something entirely new. "All ships, prepare for consciousness ascension," Admiral Blackwood's order resonated through the network. "The Guard wanted to test our worth. Let's show them what humanity has become." Lyra felt it first as a subtle shift in her quantum merger with the Defiant, then as a rushing wave of awareness that expanded beyond anything she'd ever experienced. Around her, through her connection with the network, she felt the same transformation happening to every connected human consciousness. The Harbinger's ship suddenly backed away, its patterns showing clear signs of alarm. "What have you done?" Nexus Prime's voice held something new: fear. This level of consciousness evolution should be impossible without millennia of development. Admiral Blackwood's response carried the weight of all human history: "You assumed we needed to develop like every other species. But humanity has always excelled at making the impossible possible. You came to test us, Harbinger. Instead, you're about to witness what happens when humanity faces extinction: we transcend." As the transformed human fleet advanced, the guards' vessels began to retreat, their perfectly ordered formations breaking down in the face of something they had never anticipated. Humanity hadn't just passed their test, they had rendered it meaningless. The battle for Earth's future had become something else entirely, the moment when humanity proved that consciousness itself could evolve beyond the Cosmic Guard's understanding. And this was only the beginning. The quantum fabric of space itself trembled as the Cosmic Guard's reinforcement fleet arrived, thousands of crystalline vessels emerging from higher dimensions, their combined power enough to reshape solar systems. But they found something waiting for them that defied their billions of years of experience. Director Viktor Petrov stood in the heart of Research Station Omega, watching humanity's transformation through eyes that could now perceive quantum reality directly. The hidden protocol hadn't just connected human consciousness, it had fundamentally altered it. "They're deploying consciousness suppression fields," Dr. Torres reported, her form now more energy than matter as she interfaced directly with the quantum network. "But they're not working as they expected." Through the evolved quantum network, they could feel the guards' growing panic. Their supposedly infallible technology, tested across millions of species over billions of years, was failing against humanity's transformed consciousness. "Of course it's not working," Victor observed, his thoughts resonating through the quantum field. "They're trying to suppress what we were, not what we've become." Above Earth, the battle had transformed into something beyond traditional combat. The guard ships fought with unmatched technological might, but humanity's vessels responded with consciousness-driven reality manipulation. Space itself bent and warped as two fundamentally different approaches to universal law clashed. Captain Winter's voice echoed through the quantum network, her consciousness now spanning multiple dimensions simultaneously. "They're attempting to establish a temporal lock around Earth. They mean to freeze us in time until they can figure out how to contain us." The Harbinger's massive vessel moved into position, its geometric patterns forming configurations not seen since the early days of the universe. "Your species leaves us no choice," Nexus Prime's voice resonated across all frequencies. "You have become an existential threat to universal order." The temporal energies began building, reality itself groaning under the strain. But in that moment, something unexpected happened: the hidden protocol reached its final evolution. Through the quantum network, every transformed human consciousness felt it, a fundamental shift in their understanding of reality itself. They weren't just manipulating quantum fields anymore, they had become one with them. "Now they understand," Victor transmitted through the network. "The Guard preserved universal order by enforcing stagnation. Humanity proves that true stability comes through evolution. The temporal lock attempt fractured against humanity's evolved consciousness. The Guard ships found their reality-altering weapons turned back upon themselves, their crystalline forms struggling to maintain coherence against forces they couldn't comprehend." Admiral Blackwood's consciousness resonated through the network from. The moment of ultimate transformation began with a whisper across quantum dimensions. As the Cosmic Guard prepared to rewrite the laws of physics themselves, humanity's collective consciousness reached a singular understanding: they weren't fighting for survival anymore, but for the future of evolution itself. Through the quantum network, Admiral Blackwood's transformed consciousness touched every human mind in the solar system. The Guard believes they protect the universe through stagnation. Today we prove that true stability comes through change. The Harbinger's vast fleet had arranged themselves in a perfect hyperdimensional lattice, their crystalline forms resonating with enough power to alter reality itself. Your species cannot be allowed to continue on this path, Nexus Prime's voice echoed across all frequencies. The universe requires order. No, Victor's response carried through the quantum field, his consciousness now spanning multiple realities simultaneously. The universe requires growth. The hidden protocol reached its final stage. Across Earth and its colonies, millions of transformed human minds merged into something unprecedented, a collective quantum consciousness that existed both as individuals and as a unified whole. They had become living proof that evolution hadn't ended with biological forms. The Guard's reality-altering wave struck first, a cascade of fundamental force modifications designed to rewrite the very laws that govern consciousness. But humanity's transformed state didn't fight against it, they embraced it, adapted to it, evolved through it. Through her quantum-merged consciousness, Captain Winters felt the moment everything changed. They don't understand, she transmitted across the network. They're trying to enforce their laws on us, but we've become something that exists beyond their understanding of law. The Harbinger's ship pulsed with patterns of confusion and fear as humanity's fleet moved in ways that should have been impossible even by their new standards of reality. Each human vessel had become a nexus of evolved consciousness, operating on principles that transcended traditional physics. Impossible, Nexus Prime's voice carried genuine awe. Your species, you're not just manipulating reality anymore. You've become something else entirely. We've become what consciousness was always meant to be, Admiral Blackwood responded, her transformed awareness encompassing both the tactical battle and the greater implications of this moment. Not bound by rules, but growing through them. The final confrontation unfolded across multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The Guard's attempts to enforce universal constants met an enemy that had evolved beyond constants. Humanity's fleet didn't just fight, they demonstrated a new way of existing. In Research Station Omega, Dr. Torres monitored the quantum feedback loops that showed the true scope of humanity's transformation. The Guard's problem was never our technology, she observed. It was their inability to imagine consciousness evolving beyond their understanding. The Harbinger's fleet began to withdraw, not in defeat, but in recognition. Their billion-year mission of preserving universal order through stagnation had encountered something they couldn't suppress, a species that had evolved beyond the need for external governance. You have become something we've never seen in all our existence, Nexus Prime transmitted, its patterns showing a mix of fear and fascination. Perhaps there is more to universal order than we understood. Admiral Blackwood's response carried the weight of humanity's journey. The true test wasn't about proving our worth to you. It was about proving that consciousness itself can evolve beyond anyone's expectations. The universe isn't meant to be controlled, it's meant to grow. As the Guard's ships retreated through higher dimensions, they left behind not just a transformed humanity, but a transformed understanding of consciousness itself. Earth's quantum auroras now pulsed with colors that existed in dimensions beyond normal space, a visible sign of humanity's evolution. In the aftermath, Victor stood in the quantum synchronization chamber, his consciousness touching both physical reality and the higher dimensions humanity now called home. They came to test us, he transmitted through the network. Instead, we showed them that the greatest test isn't about passing someone else's standards, it's about transcending them entirely. The Cosmic Guard had sought to prevent what they saw as a threat to universal order. Instead, they had witnessed the birth of something beyond their comprehension, a species that had evolved not just beyond their technology, but beyond their understanding of what consciousness could become. Humanity had passed the greatest test not by meeting the Guard's standards, but by proving those standards themselves were limited. As the quantum network hummed with the collective consciousness of Earth's transformed population, one truth became clear: this wasn't an ending, but a beginning. The real journey of consciousness evolution was just beginning.